exercise or example 2 on your packet. So here we are talking about, we have a table that gives you the event where you're going to tell whether it represents a positive or a negative integer, and then you're going to model this using your number line that's on your packet. So you should see a table. I have not included every one of the situations because I do want you to try some on your own. So I picked out 3 that I'm going to model with you, and then I'm going to let you do the other ones in the table on your own. Okay? So let's talk about this. So the first event says that I opened a bank account with $0. Okay? What type of integer, and remember an integer is a positive or negative whole number. Okay? It's a whole number and its opposite. So what type of integer will this situation represent if I open a bank account with $0?
$1.
It's going to be $1?
No, it's going to be 1.
I opened the bank account with $0.
So 0.
It's going to be represented with the integer 0 because this means that I have no money. So I'm going to do a number line here. Okay? Make sure that your number line has an appropriate scale. Okay? So I'm going to count by ones on mine.
Why did you put the 0 right there?
Because I just want my 0 in the middle. Doesn't matter where your 0 is, but most of the time you'll see 0 in the middle on a number line. Okay? And I'm going to do my negative numbers on the left side, and we know that our positive numbers go where?
To the right.
To the right side. So if I want to show if I want to show an integer that represents 0, where will I put my dot?
On the 0.
On the 0. So I'm going to put a big dot right here on the 0. And this is a number line that models the integer 0. Just that simple, okay? I have an appropriate scale. Each one of my numbers are increasing by 1, equally increasing by 1. And it's increasing by 1 going down with my negative numbers as well. So now, let's look at our next situation. My next event says I make a deposit of $25. What would that look like as an integer? Is that positive or negative?
It's positive.
Okay, it's positive. And what keyword lets you know that it's positive?
Deposit.
Deposit. So, what number am I going to write here under integer?
1.
A positive what?
A positive 2.
How much money did we deposit?
You got $25 that you deposited.
Alright, so stop there. I don't want you to confuse anybody. I have $25 that I deposited here, so my integer is simply 25. So it's not 1 or 2, it's simply 25 because I deposited 25. We're not going to confuse anybody. We put money in our account, so that represents a positive situation. So my 25 that I got from right here is positive. Just like we got $0, I have a 0 as my integer, okay? $25 here, and I know deposit means that that's positive. So I have a positive 25, okay?
After all, posit is still in there, so it's like keyword for positive.
Exactly. So when I do my number line, it's okay. And when I do my number line, I'm going to have 0 in the middle again. And then I could count by 5s to reach 25, or I could count by 10s, or if you want to make a really big number line, you can count by 1s. So I'm going to simply count by 5s, 10, 15, 20, and then what? 25, okay? And you do the same thing this way. -5, -10, -15, 20, and then -25. Alright? And so then you're going to put your dot on your positive 25, okay? Our next situation says that Tim withdraws $35 out of his bank account. So anytime you withdraw money out of your account, that means that you're taking money away. So I know that that's a negative situation already because they use the word withdrawals, okay? So how much money did he withdraw? He withdrew $35. So I know that that integer would show a negative 35, okay? When you get ready to do this on a number line, make sure that you choose an appropriate scale. So just like in the last one, I counted by 5s to reach the integer that I was trying to reach. I can do the same thing here. So I'm going to put 0 down here. I'm going to count by 5. So this will be -5, -10, -15, -20, -25, -30, and then I reach -35. And once you reach this point, you'll simply put your dot. So remember to look at your keywords in each event to know whether your integers will be positive or whether they will be negative. Withdrawals means negative. Deposits, positive. Remember, 0 is neither negative or positive. So make sure that you are paying attention to those keywords and details as you fill out exercise 2. When you make it to example 2, you're going to use the thermometer located on the side of your paper. So example 2, I want you to try this part on your own. I feel like you can use all the details in the reading. Make sure that you read example 2 and look at the thermometer that's located on your paper. When you make it to exercise 3 through 5, it says write each word under the appropriate column. So you have a column that says positive numbers and you have a column that says negative numbers. You are simply going to write down whether you have a gain, deposit, a loss, and you're going to put those words under the appropriate columns. Does a gain show a positive number or would a gain be a negative number? So I'm just going to tell you that one. A gain is a positive number. So you will write gain underneath the positive number column. When you make it to number 4, right, it says write an integer to represent each of the following situations. So on A, it says a company loses $345,000 in 2011. So if a company loses money, does that mean it's something positive or negative? You're right, it's definitely going to be negative. So when it tells you to write that as an integer, what you should have on A, on number 4, is simply a negative 345,000. And this is what that would look like as an integer on number 4, okay? So you look for the keywords in each sentence and make it either negative or positive, okay? So in closing, we talked about how each situation will represent a gain or a loss, and you also learned how to choose appropriate scales on a number line, and you talked about how to determine if your scales are appropriately written and if they are equal intervals apart. So I think you'll do really well on your check for understanding. If you need some assistance, just simply raise your hand and I'll come and assist you. And I'm looking for really great scores on our exit ticket so that we can move along Pride Land. Thank you.